And the walking cane or the walking stick is also known as a staff or a crook, which carries the symbolic meaning of evilness and crookedness, like the crook that was held from Nimrod of Babylon. And of course, Cronus Saturnale holds the symbol of the crook. So you say the ell or the lambd is a walking stick, and this is true since ancient times. The bull penis has been made into a hard, long walking stick, just as you see here. You see, the cane or the walking stick was known as the ancient crook in Egyptian times. It was a symbol of power and strength and a symbol of magic. This is why they used it on their kings when they died for the afterlife. And actually, the crook comes from the ancient Egyptian Heka, like a hex, which is a magical spell or a curse. The word Heka means fire or light and is an ancient Kemetic Egyptian god of magic and spells. And this patriarchal worship certainly came from the ancient matriarchal worship of the goddess Hecate or Hecate. And don't forget that in ancient Egypt, which was known as Kemet or Kame, because in ancient Egypt the T was silent, so we have Hecate or Heka. So ancient Egypt or Kemet, known as the KMT, was known for its black soil as well as its black indigenous people. And of course, the sacred cow or the bull was their base of religion as well as their livelihood. And this is exactly why we see in ancient hieroglyphics that the ancient Egyptians identified the cow or the bull as black or Kemet. Oh, and by the way, Hecate or Hecate holds the Heka in her hand, and her color is the color black. And here is an actual witch confirming that Hecate or Heka is the color black.
Hecate. So this is me showing you my altar, which is black, my candle, which is black, my cauldron, which is black, the stones that are black, the mirror that's black, the cover for it that's black. Everything here is black. And that is because she is a moon goddess. It's also because she is associated with darkness. Black is her color.
So now you'll understand why the wizards, warlocks, or the ancient druids carry the magic Heka, or the shaft, the walking cane, or the magic wand. And you'll notice that this is the source of their power, from the magic shaft or the wand, the Heka, exactly like a conductor, who is the big bull or the boss who conducts his orchestra with his magic stick in his hand. And of course, this is why modern day witches still use the Heka or the magic stick or wand. And of course, the father bull himself, who issues the papal bull, holds the bent cross, which is the symbol of the crook, the mighty magic symbol of authority and power. And I'm sure you're familiar with the bull whip as well as the threshing rod or the whipping stick. Like the story of the whipping of Jesus or the threshing of Jesus. Because Jesus is the harvest son of God, the fertility bull god or the corn fertility god Saturnale. You see, Jesus is what's known as the ancient sacrificial harvest lord or the corn spirit. This ancient threshing of the harvest lord is known as the last sheaf, or the corn dolly, the corn mother or the corn maiden, the corn father, the fertility of the corn spirit. And to learn more about this, I highly recommend the book from 1890 called The Golden Bow. So we see that the sacrificial idol worship is universal throughout the world. And we find these ancient idol worshipping figurines dating back to ancient Mesopotamia. And if you've ever seen the movie Clash of the Titans from 1981, you'll notice that the god in heaven is the bull god Zeus. And you'll notice that he controls all the little figurines. Which are exactly like little voodoo dolls. Which comes from the ancient ritual of poking holes in the sacrificial victim to gain its power or its spirit. Like when they speared the side of Jesus, the spear of destiny, which is exactly why they still poke and spear and slay the bull to this very day. And of course, they held their sacrificial spear ritual on 7/11, which is known as 9/11. And the elite have held these ancient mass sacrificial rituals since ancient times, like the hecatomb, which was the ritual of killing at least 100 cattle or oxen, the bull. And by the way, did you notice the word Heka? Now remember that I told you about the corn dolls, the last sheaf? Remember and listen to this from Criss Angel, the Aang of El, talking about a voodoo doll. And he's not talking about any voodoo doll. He's talking about the corn doll. Exactly like the evil voodoo doll, Chucky.
Give me the power, I beg of you! S'accusati e me podemo. Mortis me non
And of course, Chucky grows up to become a black wizard performing voodoo magic. And of course now Chucky has to stab and spear the spirit out of the sacrificial victim. And of course the ancient idol figurine gives us our modern day word of doll. And of course, millions of children across the world worship what the doll represents, which is idol worship. So basically, they're nothing more than voodoo dolls. And of course, now they have the world worshiping the American Idol, idolizing and worshiping the fake, materialistic, unimportant things in life. Exactly like a fake model. And of course the industry exploits models and makes them do things they never would, like pose nude and naked, and of course they always add the satanic agenda by making them do things that they would never do. And I'm sure you're familiar with L, forwards and backwards, or as above, so below. And did you notice the black witches in the bell of El? So the crook is also known as a shepherd's staff, which is why Jesus is the sheep herder, the nomad, Jesus the shepherd. And of course, the name Jesus begins with the letter J, which is the symbol of the shepherd's staff, which is the symbol that controls the sheep, which is known as the Heka, the magic stick that controls the sheep. And we see the crook in the candy cane, which is used during Christmas time, the symbol of Jesus during Christmas. And Christmas is the winter solstice known as Saturnalia, when the Son of God dies. And this is the time that we celebrate the Trinity, the birth of Jesus, or the rebirth of Jesus. And you'll notice they use the symbol of the crook or the candy cane with the 3 stripes, which is known as the Babylonian 3/, which represents the Trinity, which is why Jesus was killed or sacrificed on the 3rd day. And of course, there were 3 that were to be sacrificed. And they also used 3 nails. And you'll notice that the 3 Babylonian slash is on the logo of the Monster energy drink. Now we already know that a monster is really just a moon star. And if you're familiar with Hebrew, you'll know that the 6th letter is the letter Vav or V. And you'll notice that the V represents the bullhorns and the female delta, her vagina. And remember that sex in Latin means 6. Which is why the Monster energy drink is really 666, or sex, sex, sex. And the sex story of the Trinity is that of Mary, Jesus, and Joseph. Now real quickly, remember I told you that green is the color or the symbolism of horniness, like the little green horny devil? The horny one is the green one, which comes from the ancient green horned one from the forest, the horny bull. So now I think you'll understand about the story of the monsters or the moon stars, the horny bull and his little green one-eyed friend. And you know what the one-eyed monster means. So now you'll understand how disgusting it is for a movie to have horny monsters chasing a poor innocent little girl and going into her room at night when her parents aren't there, when she is alone. And they actually named her Boo, and a Boo is a girlfriend or a sex partner. And I can go on and on all day, and don't even get me started on the 911 symbolism. And it's the exact same story from Where the Wild Things Are. And you can watch my video series called Where the Evil Things Are. So let's get back to the crook or the candy cane. Candy canes are always red and white, which represent the winter and the summer. And this is exactly why the candy cane and Jesus, the sheep herder, is always dressed in red or white. And of course, the candy cane looks exactly like the Heka or the crook. So I just want you to ask yourself, how many staffs, rods, sticks, or magic wands have you seen in real life that actually shoot anything out of the tip? And we all know that in the real world, magic wands and staffs do not shoot anything out. The only magic happens when you have an orgasm from the magic staff of the penis.